What's up, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and this is my question and answer video. You guys asked me a hell of a lot of questions, like well over 100, and I picked about 55 that I'm hopefully going to answer. I'm going to get to as many as I can. It might end up being 2 videos because I don't want like an hour-long video for Q&A because that's insane. Why the hell am I wearing a watch? I don't even fucking know. Oh, right. I had to make some hot tea because my throat's fucked up today, so it's hot. That's okay, because we're going to nail it here and answer some of these questions. So let's start off with Frankie Cool, who wants to know, what will I do when I get to 100,000 subscribers? That seems kind of like a pipe dream at this point. Like, I'm at 14, and I've been growing, but 100K seems way far away. But if that ever happened, I would have to obviously just do something incredible and big, and maybe something like a 24-hour live stream on Twitch. I don't know, just a thought, just throwing it out there. Joe T wants to know, were you ever an achievement hunter on Xbox 360? There was a very brief time when that system was new, when achievements were a new thing that seemed really cool, that I was kind of going for some of them, and my best achievement was, there's one in Trials HD that is super fucking hard to get. It's like 20 tracks, and you can't do any faults, and I got it, but I only got it after they made it easier, because the original version of that achievement, only about 40 or 50 people worldwide ever got, so I got it after that, but still, it is a hard fucking achievement. But right now, no, I don't, at this point, I don't care about that anymore. A whole bunch of you want to know about MJ Appleballs, and while I was on the front line for that epic betrayal yesterday, honestly, I didn't even want to leave the house in the first place, but I was promised pizza. So, short answer, I really don't care. Rick Rampager and Drezo123 want to know if I'm getting WWE 2K16 this year. I think, looking at the sheer amount of 2K15 videos I have on this channel, obviously, I will get 2K16 when it's released. I'll probably get whatever big-ass $100 edition, and certainly I'll get the Season Pass when it comes out instead of waiting like I did this year. Lewis Martins wants to know if we're going to play Batman Arkham Knight. It's in my GameFly, so provided they send it on time, then we'll play Batman Arkham Knight, yes. Brandon Horn wants to know my thoughts on Dean Ambrose basically becoming the modern-day Stone Cold. I'm not a fan of wacky PG Dean Ambrose. I think, obviously, having Dean Ambrose be more like Brian Pillman would be preferable, but at the end of the day, Dean Ambrose needs to be Dean Ambrose. Amanda Loudon wants to know if I'm still mad at Graham for destroying my Xbox 360. I was like, well, it kind of blew over, and I got one with a bigger hard drive, so I'm not that mad about it anymore, no. Now, if it was my PS4, that'd be a different story. A wrestling fan has a few questions here. How I feel about Fallout 4. I have not played Fallout 2, 3, or New Vegas. Perhaps at some point I will, but I'm bad about getting to my backlog of games. Will I be watching any of the E3 streams? You're damn right I will. I am always super excited for E3 week, even if this year it seems like a lot of things are happening beforehand. XCOM 2, Fallout 4, exceeds entire E3 lineup, like, everything's getting announced before, like, what the fuck? And my favorite wrestling match of all time, probably Brett vs. Owen at Mania, but I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't know how well it holds up. The Cole channel wants to know my favorite 3DS game, and I'd say off the top of my head, a little-known game that no one really played called Weapon Shop de Omasei. And what I like about it is the fact that it does something that most games can't do very well, and that is humor. That game is hilarious. Big Man Top Shot wants to know my favorite WWE commentator, JR or Michael Cole. I grew up on JR, so JR 110%. I like that JR would call matches like they were actually a sport and actually did the play-by-play, and Cole's just kind of fucking everywhere. Mike J320 and Jason Bullock looking to know my favorite games of all time, favorite game, least favorite. Favorite game of all time, I've said time and time again, Earthbound. 110% Earthbound. That game is the best. My least favorite game, I don't really have one of all time. I've played a lot of bad games over the years, you know, Superman 64, like all the ones people know about. Big Rigs on the PC was fucking trash, but I don't really have a least favorite, like, in particular. Vaughn Moore wants to know my favorite games on 360 and Xbox One, and if I have the WWE Network. I'd say on 360, off the top of my head, Spelunky, obviously, top tier. Trials Evolution is also a phenomenal game if you haven't already played it. And on the Xbox One, I would say D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die, which actually came out on PC yesterday, so if you haven't already played it, if you don't have Xbox One, you have a PC, and it can play D4, get D4, it's fucking great. And Dead Rising 3 is pretty good. And no, I do not have the WWE Network. The main appeal is pay-per-views, and obviously I'm going over to Grimm's house or the Ninja Twins to watch those. White Tiger 420 and Elijah Stewart asking favorite games to play, what games I like the most. I'd say in terms of genres, I'm a big fan of 2D platformers. I like the whole roguelike, roguelite stuff. I've played a lot of Spelunky, been playing a lot of Flame Over lately, and kind of in general. But on a larger scale, I would say Japanese games. And I don't know what it is about Japanese games, but they have a tendency to kind of just invent new genres, and they will take chances on a higher AAA scale, whereas Western companies kind of really just play it safe each and every year. Cedric Delane wants to know my favorite K-Flay song. You, sir, have been paying attention. I am a huge K-Flay fan. I'd say usually it's stuff like 10th Avenue, it's stuff like So What, it's stuff like No Duh. But pretty much, if you have not checked out K-Flay, just type K-Flay into YouTube. She is phenomenal. Miles, with the last name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, wants to know my favorite submission hold of all time. And I would say, probably, the Taz Mission. Win if you can, survive if I let you. Sammy Pisoni wants to know my favorite video I've done with Grimm and Doohop. I have not done that many videos with both of them, so I'd say probably Mount Your Friends, which is pretty recent. If you haven't seen us play Mount Your Friends, go watch us play Mount Your Friends. A couple of folks here want to know my favorite wrestler and favorite wrestler of all time, etc., etc. I would say probably Cesaro right now is just fucking excellent. Favorite wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels. I can't ever recall a bad match with Shawn Michaels. But in terms of NXT, I don't really watch a lot of NXTs. I really can't. I don't have much of an opinion on that. Taker 866101, Xbox 360 SVR, and my daddy-o want to know about my favorite WWE game. I've certainly said No Mercy. Time and time again, No Mercy is still amazing. Favorite in the SmackDown series, I never really liked that series that much, and I obviously have not played them all yet, so I kind of hard to give an opinion on that. They're all just kind of okay. Not great, but they're kind of okay. Ace Plays wants to know my favorite WWE memory, and I'm going to say that there was a Monday Night Raw during the Attitude Era where Stephanie McMahon got kidnapped, and I was in the audience for this Raw. And at a certain point, Ken Shamrock, who was part of the corporation, was going after the Brood, who I guess was responsible for the kidnapping, and they were going to do the bloodbath, and they bloodbathed him, but he caught Christian, and he had Christian in the ankle lock at ringside, and you couldn't hear this in the crowd. When I went back and watched it later on, back on TV, him holding Christian in the ankle lock, and Christian going, "She's in the basement! She's in the basement!" was fucking amazing, and just one of those things that kind of sticks in your head forever and ever. But I would say, in general, a lot of the early Santino heel work was some of the best comedic heel stuff of all time. He had the show on WWE.com with Beth Phoenix. It was like Santino's cooking or kitchen or corner, I don't know. It was fucking amazing. Jose Castillo wants to know if I would fight, who would win in a fight, me or Doohop. He's got the Doohop drop. Obviously I'm gonna lose. Mike wants to know my first WWE live event. Funny enough, I have a picture of the card. I'm gonna put it up somewhere here, and you can see it was Friday, October 6th, 1995. Look at that main event, Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog for the IC Championship. Also on that card, Isaac Yankem DDS, aka Kane, Taker, King Mabel, Smoking Guns, Savio Vega, Hakushi, Barry motherfucking Horowitz. And there was a bonus bout with the 1-2-3 Kid, and I honestly could not tell you who the hell he fought, but that was my very first event in Madison Square Garden. It was a house show. Cole wants to know if I'm friends with Doohop. Of course I'm friends with Doohop. Let's get to moving. King Austin 316 wants to know what kind of game capture I use for gaming videos. It is a Hauppauge HD PVR2. They're on Amazon for like $140, $150, and they are fantastic. Elijah Blair wants to know my gamer score. My gamer tag is Attack Slug, obviously, and my gamer score is 64,823. You would think, having been on Xbox Live since day one, it'd be higher than that, but I'm kind of lazy. Brendan Balling wants to know if I have any great gaming memories. I'll give you one. The N64 launched in 1996. I was like 15 or 16. I can't remember if it was before or after my birthday that year. But anyway, I think I was like 16. Anyway, it came out, it was supposed to come out on, a Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the hell consoles come out. And apparently, some store, might have been Toys R Us, might have been Kmart, Walmart, I don't know, broke street date. And back in those days, if one store broke street date, all the stores broke street date. So Sunday afternoon, I got a call from KB Toys. I had reserved, I pre-ordered N64. They called me up, they go, yo, you can come get your N64. So I was like, Mom, we need to go. Went to the mall. Now my N64, got a copy of Mario 64, because that game only launched with that and Pilot Wings, and I was like, fuck Pilot Wings. And sat there the day before having to go back to school, with a copy of Mario 64, and just fucking, that game's fucking amazing. Best Sunday ever. Stephen Hogan, Sue Hogan wants to know about playing another Hitman game like Hitman Blood Money, because obviously we already played Absolution. I would say, from what I hear, people who are Hitman fans didn't really care for Absolution, but in terms of what I gotta present to Grim, and making Grim be stealthy, it's probably not gonna happen. The next one, maybe, depending on how big budget it is, but going backwards is probably not gonna happen. Matt Pageman wants to know how long I've been a gamer. 1985? Long fucking time. Isaiah Bass wants to know how many events have I been to for WWE. I'd say over the years, between like 10 or 15. Not that many pay-per-views. I went to the Royal Rumble 2000, but not, like, usually they're like Raw, a couple of house shows here and there. Every couple of years, I end up going. Bunch of people asking how I met Grim. I get this question a lot. Is back in middle school, and obviously we both would talk a lot about video games and wrestling. Obviously, I went way in one direction, he went way in the other, but we remained friends throughout the years. Brad31 BW wants to know if I ever watched The Jersey Shore. No. Having grown up like 20 minutes from the Jersey Shore, like I'm down the fucking street, not down the street, but still, within a half an hour of where the shore is, having been there over my life many, many times, all those motherfuckers were from New York or way North Jersey. They weren't from the shore. It's pretty much, fuck you, I'm local, so no, I didn't watch that show. Jake Lindsay wants to know if I'm a fan of Jurassic Park. Fuck yeah, I am. I got this, special edition right here from the movies, and I got all the Blu-rays and the 3D and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Got the novels, the books. I got the making of book. Yeah, good stuff. And am I going to buy any of the new toys? I have not seen World yet, so I don't know if it's going to be any good. Obviously, the first one was amazing. Lost World, 3. So hopefully World is a return to form, but who knows. But I did buy the diecast Jeep, which is fantastic. And this is actually the Jeep from the first movie. This was the Jeep that Nedry drove, and then, obviously got eaten by the Dilophosaurus. So if there are more Jurassic Park 1 toys, then yes. I'm hoping for Jurassic Park 1 Lego sets. I would totally buy those. Blugo Gaming wants to know, do I think the T-Rex is going to return in Jurassic World? From what people have torn apart from the trailers, it seems like at a certain point in that movie, they're going to go to the remnants of the old park, and that the T-Rex from the original, with the scars from the raptors, will totally save them from the Indominus Rex. That is the current speculation. We got less than a week to find out whether or not that's going to be true, but that is supposedly what is going to happen. Fast for Life wants to know if I like Kevin Owens. I think he's pretty good. I think it remains to be seen how they're going to book him, but right out the gate, I think he's certainly made an impact. Harry Flynn says, should they make a Lego WWE game, and would I like to see that? Well, they've already got Stack Down, so it's kind of like the next logical progression. But honestly, having anybody besides Ukes make a WWE game for the first time in like 15 years? Then yeah, I would like to see somebody else try to make a WWE game. Joshua wants to know if I like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and Pirates of the Caribbean. I am a big fan of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Read the books, watched the movies. Pirates of the Caribbean, I've seen like the one or two of them. Not really a fan. Chandler Smith wants to know if I would join Machinima. Networks, all networks do. They claim to promote you and all this other bullshit. They just take a chunk of your money. They don't actually do anything good for you. So the motto of this channel is no networks, no sponsors, no brand deals, no bullshit. Johnny Walker has questions about Nintendo and their DLC stuff, and am I happy to see them doing it? I don't think DLC is intrinsically a bad thing. I think DLC certainly can be done right, and what they did with Mario Kart, what they did with Hyrule Warriors, was some good stuff. So, as long as they keep treading that path and don't go toward the whole bullshit nickel and dime path that most companies do, I think their DLC will still be pretty good. Erica Coronado wants to know about 3 or more overrated games in my opinion. Now, I usually don't spend a lot of time on this channel talking shit about video games. If I don't like it, I'm just usually not going to play it. I would say I never saw the appeal of World of Warcraft because I am pretty much antisocial and I don't play online games, so obviously having games that are all about being social just never really clicked with me. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't really play online shooters. I recognize that those games are well made for what they are, but I never really saw the appeal myself. And obviously, being the old man that I am, I do not understand Minecraft whatsoever. And the fact that that has become the biggest selling game of all time to me is kind of insane. Tony Parker Sand Spurs wants to know if I was a WWE pro and I had to pick a rookie, either Kevin Owens or Neville. Who would I pick? I would say Kevin Owens only because Neville's style does not really lend himself to longevity. Being the man that gravity forgot when you get like into your late 30s, early 40s, gravity is going to remember who the hell you are. I'll tell you that much. Name wants to know, how did Grim and I get the idea for Perplexing Pixels? Basically, there were YouTube networks that wanted him to do gaming content, and he had the same opinion as me, that is, fuck networks. And then, so the format, basically, if you've ever seen Conan O'Brien's Clueless Gamer, we're basically ripping that off. Jason Bullock and Sammy and Zane want to know if I got the pizza. Yes, we got pizza, and it was delicious, but it took a damn long time to get that pizza. Ranuyasha wants to know about Perplexing Pickles, and I guess, you know, the fact that Stu got fired there. But, did I use the sound effect from Rama 1/2? Of course I did. Where else would you get that sound effect? I went and found it on YouTube, ripped it out, and used it. Good times. PRNY99 wants to know, what are some tips for getting good grades in high school? Man, it has been a long time since I've been in high school. It has been a great many years since I graduated high school. Just barely, I might add. Because I kind of just slacked off real hard there. But I would say, importantly, don't slack off real hard like I did. And these days, it's hard to give you advice these days only because when I was in high school, the internet was barely a thing. Cell phones didn't exist. So the amount of distractions that I would have in, say, the years like 95 to 99, the distractions I had were minimal. These days, distractions everywhere. So I would say minimize your distractions as best you can. If you have to turn off your Wi-Fi in your house to get some fucking work done, do that. Minimize your distractions and just focus as much as you can. And if you find yourself playing too many video games, don't worry. Video games aren't going anywhere. I have some that I bought in high school I have not finished yet, so you'll get to them eventually. Maybe. Dylon Gamester P78 wants to know my opinion on Splatoon. I am still playing Splatoon. I got it sitting right here. I finished the single player. It's alright. And I've been playing the multiplayer, which is pretty damn good. I don't know what kind of longevity that game's gonna have, but obviously if we're gonna play it next week on Perplexing Pixels, I'm gonna have a rental reasons for it, and maybe something else, I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty good. Ahmed wants to know, what WWE superstar would you want to fight? Are you insane? They're professionally trained athletes. I'm a dude in a bedroom whose only skill is running away, and I'm not even good at that. I don't want to die. Couple of questions from World Extreme Courage Wrestling Network. My favorite undercard guy that got fired. That would be Funaki. SmackDown announcer, number 1. Funaki was fantastic. Was Bloodborne just a tad too overrated? See, I really didn't, follow a lot of the hype going into it. I knew, obviously, it was coming from and Miyazaki, and that pedigree alone was like, all right, I need to play this, and I beat it, and it was fantastic. But I don't know that I would put it like, was it that much more overrated than say Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls or Demon Souls? Like those are all really good games, and I enjoyed them a whole lot. So I don't know, I liked it. And do I think Reigns and Triple H will have a match at some point? It's gonna happen. Obviously, Reigns is the golden boy, and he's gonna go against the Authority. So certainly you could see something like Reigns and Triple H happening at like, the Rumble or Mania or something like that. Yeah, it'll happen. J Ray wants to know the very first game I ever played. I honestly don't know because I was like 5. So it could have been Pong. It could have been Moon Patrol. It could have been the Atari version of Pac-Man. I had a bunch of games on the Atari, but I honestly couldn't tell you which game I played first. But it was like 1985, so it was a long, long time ago. DK Dog 43 wants to know what game can I not wait for to come out. I would say in the immediate future, it would be Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, second chapter, because that first chapter ended on a cliffhanger, and that was like 2011. So when Xseed finally finishes translating that game, I am super hyped to finally see what happens in that story. But in terms of long shot stuff, apparently Grandzilla has gotten the rights to finally, hopefully, finish Disaster Report 4. Don't know what system, don't know when, but I need more Disaster Report in my life. Mega Freddy 25 wants to know what kind of music I'm into. It kind of varies. I mean, it depends on what mood I'm in. I like a lot of nerdcore hip-hop. Well, I like some nerdcore hip-hop. I like a little metal. The most off-the-wall thing that I have in my library is Korean hip-hop, which I got into back in like 06 for some strange reason, and I think it's fantastic. Even though if I don't speak a damn word of Korean, I think just the beats and how they structure the songs is good stuff. But speaking of music, Ken Kniff wants to know when I'm doing any more rap, and I feel like this comes up in every Q&A when I'm going to actually put out more music. There are a handful of you who actually want me to make more music, and I've just been grinding so hard on making this YouTube thing happen, trying to get this solidified as a, bigger thing on YouTube to kind of pay all my bills, which obviously at this point it's not quite doing. So I have not had that much time to kind of sit down and craft a song. And the depressing reason is that when I look at, how much time it takes to make a video and how much money that'll bring in versus the much larger amount of time that it takes to craft a song that is up to my standards and the little bit of money that brings in, it's kind of, the decision is kind of made for me. But certainly, I have ideas and I have beats and I would like to sit down and make more music. I just kind of have to set aside like an hour a day to go, okay, this hour every day I am doing something, finding beats, writing words, lyrics, something. I have to commit to doing it, otherwise I am just too lazy to actually do it. Gabe Schmitz wants to know why I don't wrestle. Have you seen me? Like, no. I'm like 130 pounds and I'm like 5'6". No, not gonna happen. Peep Life and Ryan Allen want to know why I joined YouTube and when. It was, 2008 when I was doing a whole lot more music, putting out albums, like doing like music videos type things, and it was kind of like, hey, I had the name, and I wanted to obviously get every kind of social media I could get to have my name on there so nobody else could take it from me. Edward Gonzalez wants to know why you no help, Grim? Here's the cardinal rule. When shit goes down around Grim that he has always told me time and time and time again. Never stop filming. But more importantly, if you would have noticed in that video, much like Michael Cole always says about The Shield, it's the damn numbers game. There was 2 of them, Stan's a fucking big dude, and I don't want to get my ass kicked. And also, I didn't have any pizza. Fuck that. Awesome Guy 1221 wants to know, do I like The Witcher 3? I haven't played it yet. For that matter, I haven't played The Witcher 1 yet. Or 2. And I own them all. Well, I haven't bought 3 yet, but I own 1 and 2 and have not played them yet because my backlog of games that I own and have not played yet is downright shameful. I'm hoping to get to it at some point, Maybe, but I don't have an opinion on it right now because I have not played it. And finally, question 55. How the 55, you guys? You guys are crazy. Question 55 from DBZ Wrestling 935 wants to know the worst game that I've played in recent memory. And I'll say it's toss-up. It is either Steel Battalion Heavy Armor for the Kinect, because that shit was broken. Shame on you, Capcom. Shame on you, B-Team at From Software. What the fuck? And Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark for the PS4. I had to finish that to make sure I had enough footage to let Grim play it, and goddamn, that game was terrible. Just shameful. It's a movie tie-in, so what are you gonna do? That's gonna do it for the Q&A for June of 2015. I'm gonna try to get to these like once a month, hopefully, kind of, because there was a lot of questions here. So, alright, I was sitting here so long my phone ran out of space. I had to actually get the video off the phone and then put a little addendum on here. So I want to thank everybody who put in their questions. If I didn't get your question, I'm sorry. There were a lot of questions, but I tried to answer as many as possible, and I'll try to do more Q&As more often in the future. So that being said, thanks to everybody who actually watched this whole video. You're insane. You're the best. And as always, I'm your host, Taxlug, and I will see you next time right here on this channel. And I'm out.